You want to keep it private? Good. You want to move in silence? Even better. Let me tell you something. People can't ruin what they don't know about. They can't attack what they can't see. They can't criticize what's not up for discussion. That's the power of keeping things to yourself. You ever notice how people start acting differently when they know too much about you? The moment they get a glimpse into your plans, they suddenly have opinions, suddenly have doubts, suddenly have advice you never asked for. And most of the time, it's not even real advice. It's fear, it's jealousy, it's insecurity being projected onto you. That's why you have to move in silence. Think about it. Every time you tell people your next move, you open the door for doubt. Every time you let someone into your business, you give them the opportunity to slow you down. Not everyone is rooting for you. Not everyone wants to see you win. And even the ones that do, they might mean well, but their fears can plant seeds of hesitation in your mind. You ever have a dream, a vision so big, so clear in your mind, and the second you share it, someone says, "Are you sure about that? That sounds risky. What if it doesn't work?" And just like that, you start doubting yourself. Just like that, a seed of fear gets planted, and what was once a strong, confident move starts looking shaky. See, people don't have to physically stop you, they just have to get in your head. And the easiest way to protect yourself, keep private. Keep your plans, your dreams, your ideas to yourself. Work in the dark, shine in the light. Let your results do the talking. You ever see a lion hunting? It doesn't roar before the attack. It moves in silence. It stalks its prey. It watches, it waits, and then, boom, it strikes. That's how you need to move. Because the moment you start roaring about what you're about to do, you alert the whole jungle. Now your enemies know your plan. Now the distractions start coming. Privacy isn't about being secretive, it's about being strategic. It's about knowing what to share and what to protect. Some things are meant to be kept sacred. Some things lose their power the moment they are spoken. You ever notice how a dream feels so big, so powerful in your mind, but the moment you start explaining it, it feels smaller? That's because not everything is meant to be shared. Some things need to be nurtured in silence. Think about the most successful people in the world. They don't announce their every move. They don't broadcast every step. They move in silence and let the world see the results when it's too late to stop them. You ever wonder why the best moves in history were surprises? The biggest wins, nobody saw them coming. That's because power moves are made in private. Now let's talk about energy, because privacy isn't just about keeping your moves to yourself, it's about protecting your energy. You ever been excited about something and then you share it with the wrong person and suddenly that excitement is gone? That's energy being drained. That's the cost of oversharing. You got to learn to recognize who deserves access to your world. Not everyone does. Some people are there to support you, and some are there to distract you. Some are there to uplift you, and some are there to take from you. You have to be selective. Privacy is power. Because when people don't know what you're up to, they can't interfere. They can't sabotage what they can't see. They can't prepare for a storm they don't know is coming. You ever seen a tree grow? It doesn't make noise. It doesn't announce every inch of growth. It just grows. And one day it's towering over everything around it. That's how you need to be: quiet in your progress, loud in your results. Now, some people are going to say, but I want to share my journey. I want to inspire people. And listen, there's nothing wrong with inspiring people. There's nothing wrong with sharing the wins. But you have to ask yourself, is this for me or is this for validation? Because a lot of times we share not because we need to, but because we want to be seen, because we want approval. And that's dangerous. Because the moment you need outside approval, you give away your power. If your success depends on applause, what happens when the applause stops? If your motivation comes from people watching, what happens when no one's looking? That's why you got to move for you. Not for likes, not for attention, not for validation, for you. And listen, there's a peace that comes with keeping things to yourself. When you're private, you're in control. You decide what's seen, what's known, what's shared. And in a world where everyone is obsessed with being seen, there's something powerful about being unseen, about being a mystery, about being unpredictable. Because when people don't know what to expect from you, they can't prepare for you. When they don't know your next move, they can't stop it. When they don't have access to your plans, they can't interfere. Privacy is protection. It protects your dreams from doubters. It protects your energy from negativity. It protects your mind from distractions. It keeps you focused, keeps you locked in, keeps you moving forward without unnecessary noise. And the best part, it makes your wins even sweeter. Because there's nothing more powerful than shocking the world with success they never saw coming. There's nothing more satisfying than showing up with results nobody expected. So keep private, keep focused, keep building in silence. Let the world see the results, not the process. Move like a lion, work like a tree, build like a storm, because when the time comes, when the work is done, when the results are undeniable, nobody will be able to ignore you. You ever notice how the loudest person in the room is usually the weakest? The one who brags, the one who announces every little thing, the one who can't keep anything to themselves. That's the person looking for validation. That's the person trying to convince people they're about something. But the real movers, the real winners, they don't say much. They don't need to, because their work speaks for them. The greatest moves in history were made in silence. The biggest success stories didn't start with an announcement. They started with action. They started with discipline, with focus, with relentless effort behind closed doors. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to explain what you're about to do. You don't need to make an announcement before the results are real. That's where most people mess up. They get an idea, a goal, a plan, and before they even take the first step, they start talking about it. They start telling people what's coming, what they're about to do, how they're going to change their life. But what happens when you speak too soon? The energy shifts. The focus fades. The work slows down. You ever been excited about something, shared it with the wrong person, and suddenly that fire inside you dims? Suddenly the confidence you had starts slipping away? That's because not everyone is meant to hear your plans. Not everyone is meant to have access to your vision. Some people will doubt you. Some will discourage you. Some won't even mean harm, but their words, their reactions, their energy can throw you off track. And once you start second guessing yourself, once that hesitation creeps in, it's hard to move with the same confidence you had when it was just you and the dream. You don't need outside noise. You don't need opinions. You don't need an audience watching every step of your journey, because here's the truth. Most people don't actually care about your success. They're either waiting for you to fail so they can say, I told you so, or they're silently hoping you don't get too far ahead. That's why the best thing you can do is keep your head down and work. No announcements, no updates, no unnecessary sharing. Just focus on the process. Think about the most successful people in the world. You don't hear about every move they make. You don't see every step they take. But one day they show up and the results are undeniable. That's how you need to move. Because when you work in silence, when you let your results do the talking, there's nothing anyone can say. When the work is done, when the success is real, there's no argument, no debate. It's just facts. Imagine a boxer training for a fight. Do they go around telling everyone about the hours they're putting in? Do they announce every session, every drill, every moment they're in the gym? No. They train, they prepare, they focus, and when fight night comes, all that work, all that effort, it speaks for itself. The opponent feels it, the crowd sees it. There's no need for words because the results are there. You ever see a tree grow? It doesn't make noise. It doesn't announce every inch of progress. It just grows day by day, little by little, and one day it's standing tall, unshakable. That's how you need to be. Consistent, focused, silent in your progress, loud in your results. Most people waste time talking. They waste energy explaining. They spend more time telling people what they're about to do instead of actually doing it. And in the end, they never move, they never grow, they never achieve what they set out to do. Because all that talking, it took the place of action. You don't need validation. You don't need permission. You don't need anyone to believe in you before you start. Just move, just work, just build. And when the time comes, when the results are undeniable, the same people who doubted you, the same people who ignored you, the same people who didn't see your vision, they'll have no choice but to recognize it. There's a power in being unpredictable. When people don't know what's coming, they can't prepare for it. They can't stop what they can't see. That's why the most successful moves are always surprises. The greatest achievements come when nobody was expecting them. Because while the world was busy talking, busy watching others, busy making noise, the real ones were grinding. The real ones were putting in work. The real ones were moving in silence. You ever watch a predator in the wild? They don't roar before they hunt. They don't announce their attack. They move in silence. They watch. They plan. They prepare. And when the time is right, they strike. That's how you need to be. Because the moment you start roaring, the moment you start telling people what's coming, you alert the whole jungle. Now the doubters have something to say. Now the haters have a chance to interfere. Now the distractions start coming. Most people never reach their full potential because they're too busy performing for an audience that doesn't even care. They're too busy trying to prove something to people who won't matter in the end. You have to ask yourself, am I doing this for me or am I doing this for attention? Because if you're moving for attention, if you're chasing approval, you're already losing. The real work happens in private. The real growth happens when nobody's watching. The real success comes from discipline, from consistency, from relentless effort that doesn't need applause to keep going. When you let your results do the talking, nobody can argue. Nobody can question. Because the proof is there. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to defend yourself. The work speaks for itself. And the best part, it makes your success even sweeter. Because there's nothing more powerful than shocking the world with results they never saw coming. There's nothing more satisfying than showing up with undeniable proof of your dedication, your effort, your grind. So stop talking, stop explaining, stop seeking approval. Just work, just move, just build. And when the time comes, when the results are real, when the success is undeniable, nobody will be able to ignore it. Not everything is meant to be shared. Not everything is meant to be seen. You have to understand that some things lose their power the moment you put them out in the open. Some dreams need to be protected. Some goals need to be kept between you and your work. Because the second you let too many people in, you give them access to something sacred. And not everyone deserves that access. Privacy isn't about keeping secrets. It's about protecting your energy, your vision, your momentum. Because when too many voices get involved, when too many opinions start weighing in, it can throw you off course. You ever been confident about something, completely sure about what you wanted, but then you shared it with the wrong person, and suddenly that confidence started to slip? That's the power of energy. That's the danger of letting the wrong people into your plans. There are people in this world who don't want to see you win. Not because they have anything against you personally, but because your success reminds them of what they haven't done. Your growth makes them uncomfortable. Your progress makes them question their own lives. So instead of clapping for you, they plant seeds of doubt. Instead of pushing you forward, they hold you back with their words, their negativity, their skepticism. And the worst part, they might not even know they're doing it. You ever hear someone say, "I'm just trying to look out for you," when they really mean, "I don't want you to outgrow me"? You ever hear someone say, "That sounds risky," when they really mean, "I don't have the courage to do what you're doing"? That's why you have to be careful. That's why you have to protect your dreams, your plans, your progress, because the wrong words at the wrong time can shift your whole mindset. Doubt is contagious. Fear spreads fast, and sometimes all it takes is one conversation to make you second guess something you were completely sure about. You tell someone your dream and they laugh. You tell someone your next move and they hesitate. And even if you don't realize it in the moment, that energy sticks with you. The next time you sit down to work, that voice is in the back of your mind. That hesitation lingers. And before you know it, you're not moving the same way you were before. That's why privacy is protection. It protects you from doubt. It protects you from negativity. It keeps your energy pure, your vision clear, your momentum strong. Because when you don't invite unnecessary voices into your plans, you stay locked in. You stay focused. You move with confidence because there's no outside noise distracting you. Think about a fire. When it's just getting started, when the flames are still small, it's vulnerable. One gust of wind, one splash of water, and it's gone. But once it grows, once it builds up enough heat, nothing can put it out. That's how your dreams are. In the beginning, they're delicate. They need time to grow. They need time to build strength. And if you expose them too soon, the wrong energy can put them out before they even get started. You ever notice how the most powerful people don't talk about every move they make? They don't announce their plans. They don't explain themselves. They just show up with results. They protect their energy. They keep their focus locked in because they understand that not everything needs to be shared. Not everything needs an audience. Some things are meant to be built in private. You don't need validation. You don't need approval. You don't need a round of applause before you've even taken your first step. All you need is discipline. All you need is consistency. All you need is the ability to protect your vision until it's strong enough to stand on its own. There's a reason why successful people move in silence. There's a reason why the best moves in history were surprises. Because when people don't know what you're up to, they can't interfere. They can't sabotage what they can't see. They can't prepare for a storm they don't know is coming. That's why privacy is power. Not everyone clapping for you wants to see you win. Not everyone listening to you has good intentions. Some people smile to your face and doubt you behind your back. Some people will act supportive, but deep down they don't want you to outgrow them. And if you give them too much access, if you let them too deep into your plans, they will find a way to slow you down. Some people are dream killers, not because they mean to be, but because their own fears, their own insecurities, their own doubts make them incapable of seeing your vision. And when you share your plans with them, they respond based on their own. They don't believe they could do it, so they don't believe you can either. They don't see how it's possible for them, so they don't see how it's possible for you. And if you're not careful, that energy can infect you. That's why you have to be selective. That's why you have to be intentional about who you let into your world. Because the wrong person can throw you off track without even trying. And sometimes it's the people closest to you. Sometimes it's the ones you trust the most. Not because they don't love you, not because they don't care, but because they don't see what you see. You have to protect your mind. You have to protect your focus. You have to understand that not everyone needs to know what you're building. Not everyone deserves access to your dreams. Some things are meant to be kept between you and your work, between you and the process. Because when the work is done, when the results are real, when the success is undeniable, the same people who doubted you, the same people who didn't believe, the same people who questioned your vision, they will have no choice but to respect it. But until then, protect it, nurture it, keep it safe from unnecessary opinions, unnecessary noise, unnecessary distractions. Privacy isn't about hiding, it's about being strategic. It's about understanding the value of your energy, the power of your focus, the importance of keeping your vision untainted. Because when you move in silence, when you protect what's yours, when you keep your work sacred, nothing can shake you, nothing can stop you, nothing can take away what's meant for you. Privacy doesn't mean secrecy. It means moving with purpose, knowing that not everyone needs to know what you're doing, how you're doing it, or where you're going. A lot of people confuse the two. They think if you're private, you're hiding something. They think if you're not announcing your every move, you must have something to be ashamed of. But that's not the case. The truth is, when you keep things to yourself, when you're selective about who has access to your life, you're not being secretive, you're being smart. Not everyone deserves access. Not everyone should have a front row seat to your journey. Some people will pretend to support you, but deep down they don't want to see you win. Some people will smile in your face, but behind your back they'll plant seeds of doubt. That's why you have to be careful. You have to be strategic. You have to understand that your energy, your vision, your progress, it's all valuable. And when something is valuable, you don't just put it out there for anyone to take. Think about a master chess player. They don't announce their strategy before making a move. They don't explain their next step to their opponent. They think ahead. They stay quiet. They stay focused. And when they make their move, it's powerful, it's calculated, and it's undeniable. That's how you have to move in life. Strategically, with purpose, without giving away too much too soon. A lot of people fail because they talk too much. They get an idea, they get inspired, they feel motivated, and the first thing they do is tell everyone about it. But here's the problem. When you talk about it before you act on it, you release the energy, you lose the fire. You give people a chance to question you, to doubt you, to make you second guess yourself. And before you know it, all that motivation, all that excitement, all that momentum, it fades away. That's why the best way to build something is in private, to work behind the scenes, to stay locked in, stay focused, and move without distractions. Because when you don't announce your plans, when you don't seek validation, you give yourself the space to grow without interference. You give yourself the freedom to make mistakes, to learn, to improve, without the pressure of outside opinions. Some people aren't ready to hear your vision. Not because your vision isn't powerful, but because their mind isn't big enough to understand it. Some people can't see past their own limitations, and if you let them, they'll project those limitations onto you. They'll tell you it's impossible. They'll tell you it's unrealistic. But what they're really saying is, I don't believe I could do it, so I don't believe you can either. That's why you can't let outside voices influence your path. That's why you have to protect your dreams like a seed in the ground, water it, nurture it, let it grow before you put it out into the world. When you move in silence, you maintain control. You control your energy, you control your process, you control who has access to your progress. Because not everyone needs to see the struggle. Not everyone needs to witness the grind. Some people only deserve to see the results. There's power in mystery. When people don't know what you're up to, they can't interfere. They can't prepare for it. They can't stop it. That's why the most successful people aren't always the ones making the most noise. They're the ones who show up when the work is done. They're the ones who let their results do the talking. You ever notice how the biggest moves in history happen without warning? A company drops a groundbreaking product out of nowhere. An athlete comes back stronger than ever without saying a word. A person you thought was out of the game suddenly appears on top. That's because while the world was talking, they were working. While others were seeking attention, they were locked in. That's the difference between those who make noise and those who make moves. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to announce your next step. You don't need to convince people that you're doing something great. Just do it. Just build. Just grow. And when the time is right, when the work is undeniable, when the results speak for themselves, there will be nothing left to explain. Privacy gives you freedom. It gives you the space to evolve without judgment. When you keep things to yourself, you move differently. You make decisions based on your vision, not on outside expectations. You stay true to your path instead of getting caught up in proving yourself to people who don't even matter in the end. The strongest people, the most successful people, the ones who truly create impact, they don't seek approval. They don't need validation. They trust themselves. They trust their work. They trust that when they put in the effort, when they stay disciplined, when they remain consistent, success will come. And when it does, it won't need an introduction. It will be obvious. It will be undeniable. It will be respected. That's why you have to be intentional. That's why you have to be selective. That's why you have to understand that privacy isn't about hiding. It's about moving in a way that protects your energy, that shields your progress, that keeps you focused on what matters most. Because when you protect your dreams, when you guard your vision, when you stay committed to the process without the need for outside validation, nothing can stop you. Nothing can shake you. Nothing can take away what's meant for you. When you keep your life private, you control the narrative. You decide what people know, how much they know, and when they know it. That's power. That's leverage. Because the less people know about you, the less they can use against you. The less they can interfere. The less they can manipulate, judge, or try to steer you off course. Privacy isn't about isolation. It's about control. It's about making sure that the energy around you is pure, that the focus stays on the mission, and that nothing unnecessary distracts you from where you're going. People are curious by nature. They want to know what you're up to, what your next move is, what's happening behind the scenes. Some ask out of genuine interest, others ask out of envy, out of competition, out of a need to compare their life to yours. That's why you have to be mindful of what you share, because the moment you let people in, the moment you give them access, you also give them the opportunity to judge, to criticize, to inject their energy, good or bad, into your life. And not everyone deserves that power. Think about a strong foundation. When a building is under construction, the most important work happens underground, where nobody can see it. The foundation is laid in silence, in privacy, before anything visible takes shape. Because if the foundation isn't strong, the entire structure is weak. That's how life works. If you're constantly broadcasting every little thing you do, You're not giving yourself time to build properly. You're letting too many eyes in before the foundation is solid. And when too many eyes are on something that's still growing, the pressure, the expectations, the outside noise, it can cause cracks. It can cause doubt. It can weaken what you're trying to build. The most valuable things in life are protected. Money sits in vaults guarded by steel doors and security. Diamonds are locked away, only brought out when necessary. Even technology companies keep their biggest innovations under wraps until the moment of release. Why? Because value is protected. Because anything worth having is worth keeping safe. Your life, your goals, your progress, those things are valuable. But too many people treat them like they're disposable. They put everything on display. They let anyone and everyone have access, and then they wonder why they feel drained, why they feel distracted, why they feel like they're not moving the way they should. Privacy is discipline. It takes restraint. It takes confidence in knowing that you don't need an audience to make something real. Some people can't move without validation. They can't make decisions without announcing them first, without getting reassurance, without hearing someone else say, yeah, that's a good idea. But when you're truly locked in, when you're truly committed to what you're doing, you don't need all that. You don't need permission. You don't need a round of applause before you even take the first step. You just need the work. You just need the belief. You just need the discipline to stay focused, stay quiet, and let the results do the talking. When you move in silence, people don't know what to expect. They can't anticipate your next step. They can't prepare for what's coming, and that's an advantage. Because while they're guessing, while they're speculating, while they're trying to figure you out, you're already 3 moves ahead. You're already making progress. You're already in position for the next level. That's why the most powerful people aren't always the loudest. That's why the most successful people aren't always the ones seeking attention. They understand that privacy gives them the upper hand. It keeps them focused. It keeps them moving without interference. Some people will try to make you feel like privacy is a weakness. Like if you're not constantly sharing, if you're not always updating the world on what you're doing, then maybe you're not doing anything at all. But that's a lie. That's insecurity talking. That's the mindset of someone who needs attention to feel valuable. But true confidence doesn't need validation. True growth doesn't need an audience. True success happens long before the world sees it. It happens in the early mornings, in the late nights, in the quiet moments when nobody's watching. It happens in the grind, in the discipline, in the choices you make when there's no one around to clap for you. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't owe anyone access to your journey. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone but yourself. The only thing you owe is the work, the consistency, the commitment to becoming better, to growing, to evolving in a way that speaks for itself. And when you do that, when you build in silence, when you move with purpose, when you focus on your craft instead of the noise, you become unstoppable. Because nothing distracts you, nothing deters you, nothing gets in the way of what you're destined to do. Think about the greats, the legends, the people who changed the game. They weren't the ones constantly explaining themselves. They weren't the ones looking for approval. They were the ones who put in the work, who stayed focused, who showed up when it mattered most. And when they arrived, they didn't need an introduction. They didn't need to explain how they got there. Their results spoke for them. Their success made the noise. Privacy isn't about being mysterious for the sake of being mysterious. It's about creating space for growth. It's about eliminating distractions. It's about making sure that your energy is being spent on things that actually matter instead of on proving yourself to people who won't even matter in the end. Because the truth is, most people aren't paying as much attention as you think. Most people aren't sitting around thinking about your every move. And even if they are, their opinions won't change your outcome. What changes your outcome is the work. What changes your future is the discipline. What changes your reality is the ability to lock in, stay focused, and trust the process without the need for outside validation. Some things in life are sacred. Your dreams, your plans, your personal growth, they deserve to be protected. They deserve to be nurtured in a space that isn't tainted by unnecessary opinions, by distractions, by outside pressure. Because when you protect what's important, when you keep your focus pure, when you eliminate the noise and stay locked in on your vision, there's nothing that can stop you. There's nothing that can shake you. There's nothing that can take away what's already yours. The world doesn't need to know every step you take. The noise, the opinions, the distractions, they add nothing to your journey. What matters is the work. What matters is the focus. What matters is the discipline to build in silence, to protect your energy, to move with intention. Privacy isn't about isolation, it's about positioning. It's about making sure that when you step forward, when you make your move, when you reveal what you've been working on, there's nothing left to explain. Because when the work is real, when the results are undeniable, when success speaks for itself, silence becomes the loudest statement you can make.